First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As always, thank you for joining us. We are live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, our website, and our app, so lots of places to find the segments that we get to do here. And one of the things that we get to do is do deeper dives with our amazing reporters, including Fox 12 Investigates. And this is Ezra Kaplan joining me here. Always good to have you here.
Glad to be here.
I know you're a very busy guy,
You've got a lot going on.
I'm glad that we can snag you just for a few minutes because,
Absolutely.
there's so many things you're working on, but certainly this topic that's there on the lower third right now, if you're seeing this, if you've been watching our channel, you probably have seen one of Ezra's reports on this, but in case you haven't, we wanted to give just an overview of what this is and do a bit of a deeper dive on what's going on here. So I guess for the people who may not know about this, can you give them kind of that?
Yeah, we'll kind of just go back from the beginning here. So this all started, we actually just got a tip called into our newsroom. It was a woman who said that she had gotten a call from her doctor saying that lab work that she got on, I believe it was a breast biopsy, came back. Originally, she was under the impression that it was negative, right? Totally cancer-free. She got a call from her doctor earlier this year saying that's not the case. There's actually the presence of cancerous cells in that sample, and that now they're going to need to figure out a new path forward. And so that was really concerning. But what she said next was actually what really got us going at full steam ahead on this story, which is she said the doctor told her that she had 6 more calls like this to make after that one. And so what we were initially kind of hunting down or trying to figure out the validity to is there something systemically going on right here? Is there a pattern going on? And so we ended up reaching out to the hospital, and the hospital confirmed to us that there was something going on, that there was, that they gave us a statement that said that as part of their quality assurance review process, they had found some discrepancies and had gone ahead and tested a whole bunch of samples and found that there were they said that there were repeated errors by one pathologist. And so once we knew that, we took it to air because this is important information, right? We didn't really have the full story, but we did know that there was something going on, and we wanted to make sure the viewers knew about it. So we took it to air, and we asked you all to reach out. We asked the viewers, hey, did you get a call from your doctor? Do you know somebody who got a call from your doctor that sounds something like this? Let us know. And people let us know. We ended up hearing, at this point, we're up to almost a dozen folks who have told us. And actually, we've heard from a lot more than that, but these are a dozen there we have actually confirmed. And so what we do is we interview the person, and we see if the doctor who's named is the doctor named in their case, and then we look at their medical records. And so we're making sure that this is something that's pretty airtight on our side in terms of not just lumping together anybody who's saying that this happened to me too.
Yeah.
We're verifying it.
It's verified, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, and obviously I can't imagine what that experience is like for these people. I mean, that's one of the emotional toll that's got to take, let alone just learning that you have to go through all of this physical side of it as well after that. So, and a dozen people so far, and all of this off of that original tip.
That's right. And to go off of that, our producer, Michaela Cotter, has been doing a lot of these phone calls, and these are not easy phone calls. These are generally pretty tough phone calls. Sometimes folks are sad and devastated that this is going on. Oftentimes they're angry. It's the whole grief process. This is traumatic news that they're receiving. So one of the folks that we did speak to agreed to actually sit down and share her story on camera, and we put that together as a package. I think we can take a look at that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and run this, and we'll come back and talk about this.
Jessica Vickers is no stranger to cancer.
So my grandmother passed away before I was even born. She was 55 at breast cancer, my dad's mom. My mother ended up getting breast cancer 2016, and then her sister, my aunt's, had breast cancer twice now. And my mom died at 60.
She has been getting breast exams every 6 months since she was 35. Last February, an MRI revealed concerning lumps. So Jessica was scheduled for a biopsy at Providence Cancer Institute. And so when you got back the biopsy results and it said no cancer, what was going through your head?
I was kind of relieved, but I kind of didn't really like exactly how he had said it. But he basically looked at me and was like, oh, they're most likely benign. And I was like, what do you mean most likely? Like, how do you definitively answer that? Most likely isn't a good enough answer. And he's like, oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm really good at reading these. Like, You have nothing to worry about. In my opinion, they're benign. So I didn't think I had to question it anymore.
But the lumps were not benign. Almost a year later,
Hello?
she was informed she had cancer.
My primary care doctor, because he knows my history, called me like literally almost in tears. Like, I don't even know how to tell you this. I don't want to, but I need to tell you that your pathology results that you got done last year are wrong, and that you have some form of cancer, and we're trying to get you into an oncologist and get you scheduled so that we can explain this more to you and find out exactly what's going on. And so now I'm in the process of all that.
What goes through your mind when that happens?
Scared, angry. I don't want to go through what my mom did at all. Just scared more than anything. I'm like angry, not even for just myself, because just my doctor's office alone there's 3 people at least. Like that, just like how do you screw up that bad?
And Jessica is far from alone. The 7 cases that we know of follow a similar pattern. During the first half of last year, pathology reports came back negative for cancer. Then, beginning in December, patients started getting calls from their doctors, informing them of testing errors. The hospital tells us that patients have been impacted across their system. They have not told us which facilities are definitely impacted. The cases impacted involve tissue samples from breast biopsies, thyroid removals, and cervical cell samples. In a statement, Providence says that we apologize for the concerns this will cause our patients. As we continue to talk to patients, many are surprised to find out they aren't alone in this situation. It's taken an emotional toll.
I'm angry at the pathologist for, obviously not doing his job right, and for Providence taking this long to figure it out. Like, after I found out, I looked him up. He's been in business for over 27 years. How many other people did he screw up on? How far back are you going to realize this guy's been doing this for God knows how long?
Providence says that they are contacting treatment providers and affected patients and working with them on an individual basis, and that they are still in the process of determining the scope of how many patients are impacted. Jessica says she still has so many questions and wants answers from Providence, but for now, she's focused on forging her own difficult path forward.
No matter what, I'm going to end up doing a full mastectomy and then some sort of reconstruction. And then if it hasn't grown, then I get to stop there and I don't have to go any further. If it has grown, then I'm most likely looking at chemo and radiation.
That's scary.
Yeah, especially because my mom died from chemo. If this would have been stopped a year ago, where it was at stage 0 from what they can see, I wouldn't have had to do that.
That's just incredibly powerful, sad, feel so bad for her, for what she's going through. And this is one story.
That's right. We had another interview with somebody else, aired that story last night. That's available on KPTV.com. But this is something we're hearing from. We're hearing these stories, and these are really tough interviews.
I can't imagine. Yeah, sitting there, you can just see what she's going through. Yeah. I do want to remind everybody as well. We are live right now. If you're watching this, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. If you do have a question or a comment for Ezra, please feel free to put those in there. I'll see if we can get those through.
And actually, on that note, it's been the social media aspect and the way that we're all connected has actually been really helpful in the story. Everything from, we have been hearing from folks through Instagram comments, through Reddit posts, through even some Facebook comments. It's one of those things that we're able to connect with the community and find out about this story by people engaging and telling us what's going on. And literally, we couldn't have done this without people reaching out.
Yeah, when it's so important. Just how many people this is affecting. So yeah, I do want to say, thank you to people who do engage, and let us know and let Ezra know and let us know here what's going on. So always appreciate that. So I guess, now you've got these interviews so far. You've talked to some of these people. Yeah. Where are the steps right now? Where are they at in the process of this?
Yeah. So what we're looking at right now, is we're looking at a couple different angles, but one of the main things is looking at the legal aspect, right? One of the folks we've talked to is now working with a lawyer. That lawyer tells us that he's working with 2 other patients as well in a similar situation. So we're now looking at a legal side of this. I think there's a lot of, everybody we've talked to believes that there's most likely going to be some sort of lawsuit coming towards the hospital, coming towards the doctor. We don't know what that's going to look like, but we are interested in kind of how that plays out. Other than that, we are kind of, we're trying to figure out what to do next to get more information out there. You know, at this point, Providence has provided a statement to us, but we've asked several times for an on-camera interview, you know, to address some of these issues and bring some more clarity to the situation. We still haven't gotten that interview, and it's something that we think is really important to include in this story, because the reality is we really don't know exactly what happened here. We don't know what went wrong. We don't know what you know, why it went wrong and kind of the timeline of all this happening. We know that something did happen, right? We see the impacts of it. We are hearing from the patients, but every patient we've talked to says, I want to know what happened here. You know?
How can this happen? I mean, that would be one of the first questions I would have too.
Absolutely. To the extent that, you know, one of the other patients that we talked to said, look, I'd be happy to sign an NDA, to promise to never sue. I just want to know what happened. And she hasn't gotten that.
Yeah, that's clarity that you kind of feel like somebody deserves to have with something like that. Do you have reason to believe that there are more patients?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So what we know is that we've heard and confirmed 10 patients, right? We also know that we're only reaching a limited number of folks.
Right.
We also know that the hospital has said that they do not yet know how many folks are impacted by this. And on that note, I actually do want to take a moment and share, because the hospital, like I said a moment ago, has provided us with a statement, not an interview yet, which we're hoping for, but I do want to share with you what is on the statement, because it's fair to give everybody, you know, their side of the story.
Yeah.
So this came from Providence. It says, as part of our routine internal review process, we have discovered some discrepancies in the work of one pathologist. In the interest of patient safety, upon discovering these discrepancies, we elected to review additional cases read by the same pathologist. When we did that, we discovered that some pathology specimens had been reviewed incorrectly. We apologize for the concerns this will cause our patients. Patients should contact their physician directly to determine what steps to take next. We have no reason to believe there are concerns involving any other pathology findings. We can tell you that the pathologist in question is not providing services at Providence. Providence is already in the process of contacting the physicians and providers treating the affected patients. Those physicians and providers have been reaching out to patients as needed. We don't yet know how many patients are affected. We are in the process of determining that right now. And so, you know, that's kind of where we're at with the communication from Providence. And to answer your question, we do think there are probably more folks out there that we either haven't heard from, or to be honest, you know, not everybody may want to make it public or share that this is something that they're being impacted by.
That's absolutely fair. I mean, it's such a very personal thing.
Absolutely.
But I think answers is probably something that everybody
Absolutely.
would want.
Yeah, some
no matter
clarity
who it
and
is.
transparency is really what's being asked for here.
Well, you know, mentioning that again, as far as social media and engaging with people who are watching, is there a way that, you know, we want people to reach out?
Absolutely.
Should you be one of these patients or know somebody that would want to share their story?
Yeah, absolutely. And we would love to hear from you. If you know of somebody, or if you yourself have received a call from your doctor letting you know about pathology errors, even if your clinic or hospital isn't necessarily called Providence, a lot of this is going on at other clinics and other hospitals that perhaps use Providence as their pathology service. And so if you've gotten a call from your doctor about some errors in lab reports, please do let us know if you feel comfortable doing so. You can go to the kptv.com. If you go to Investigates, there is a Contact Us button. You can also just email us at the website. I'm sorry, the email is on the website. We want to hear from you, and we want to really get as much of the story out there as we can.
Yeah.
And right now, that's on the patients.
Yeah,
So.
and they will read what you send in.
Oh yeah,
so,
every single one, and we will respond.
Yep. So, Well, Ezra, thank you very much, for joining us.
Absolutely.
And yeah, truly a pretty powerful story going on here. And you just hope we can get some clarity for everybody. And thanks for sharing all this too.
Definitely.
Yeah, and all the hard work. And for everybody watching, again, this is Fox 12 Now. This is your first time. We start live streaming here every weekday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, covering a broad range of topics and segments. And some of them are like this, where we get to have our reporters join us here for a bit of a deeper dive, a longer segment than what they can do on the regular newscast sometimes. So it's a good way to engage with that. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it. And I'll be back at 2 p.m. with a new segment. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.